The Promise of the Redeemer, per Saint Catherine Emmerich, born on the 1700s. By the end of the 1700s. Chapter 2, The Promise of the Redeemer. After all fall of a man, God made known to the angels his plan for the restoration of human race. I saw the throne of God. I saw the most holy Trinity and the movement of the divine persons. I saw the 9 corps of angels and God announcing to them the way by which he will restore the fallen race. I saw the inexpressible joy and jubilation of the angels at the announcement. I saw Adam, glittering rock, and precious stones arise before the throne of God, as if borne up by angels. It had steps cut on it. It increased in size. It became throne, a tower, and it extended on all sides until it embraced all things. I saw the 9 corps of angels around it, and above the angels in heaven I saw the image of the Virgin. It was not Mary in time, it was Mary in eternity, Mary in God. The Virgin entered the tower, which opened to receive her, and she appeared to become one with it. Then I saw a sign from the most holy Trinity, an apparition which likewise went into the tower. Among the angels I noticed a kind of austeritorium at which all were working on it. It was shaped like a tower, and on it were all kinds of mysterious carving. Near on it, either side, stood 2 figures, their joined hands embracing it. At every instant, it became larger and more magnificent. I saw something from God passing through the angelic course and going in through the austeritorium. It was a shining holy thing, and it became more clearly defined and nearer to the austeritorium. It appeared to me to be germ of the divine blessing for the pure offspring in which had been given to Adam, but with John, which he was on the point of hearkening to Eve and consenting to eat the forbidden fruit. It was the blessing that was again bestowed upon Abraham, withdrawn from Jacob by Moses, deposited in the Ark of the Covenant, and lastly received by Joachim, the father of Mary, in order that Mary might be as pure and stainless in her conception as was Eve upon coming forth from the side of the sleeping Adam. The asteriosorium likewise went into the tower. I saw too a chalice prepared by the angels. It was the same shape as they used as the Last Supper, and it also went into the tower. To the right side of the tower I saw it was if the edge of the golden cloud, grapevines and wheat intervening like the fingers of clasped hands. From them sprang a branch of whole genealogical tree, upon whose brows were little figures of males and females reaching hands to one another. Its highest blossom was the crib with the child. Then I saw in pictures the mystery of redemption from the promise down to the fullness of time, and side pictures I saw counteracting influences at work. At last, over Shining Rock, I saw a large and magnificent church. Uh, it was one holy Catholic church, which bears living in itself the salvation of the whole world. The connection of these pictures, one with another, and their transition from one to another was wonderful. Even what was evil and opposed to the end in view, even what was rejected by the angels as unfit, was made servant to the development of redemption. And so I saw the ancient temple rising from below us. I was very large and like a church, but I had no tower. He had no tower. He was pushed to the side by the angels, and there stood standing. I saw great muscle shall make its appearance and try to force its way. The old temple, but it too was hurried aside. I saw appear a broad, looped-off tower, through whose numerous gateways figures like Abraham and the children of Israel enter. It was significant of their bondage in Egypt. It was shown aside, as well as another Egyptian tower in a staircase form. The later was symbolical of astrology and soothsaying. Then appeared an Egyptian temple. It was pushed aside like the others and remained standing crook. At last I saw a vision of earth such as God had shown to Adam, this that a virgin will arise and restore to him the salvation that he had forfeit. Adam knew when it would take place, and I saw his deep sadness because Eve bore him only sons, but at last she had a daughter. I saw Noah, his sacrifice, at the time in which he received from God the blessings. Then I had visions of Abraham and his blessings, and the promise of a son Isaac. I saw the blessings of descending from the firstborn to firstborn, and always transmitted with sacramental action. And I saw Moses on the night of Israel's departure from Egypt, getting possession of the mystery of the holy thing, of which none knew save Aaron. I saw afterward in the ark of the covenant only the high priest and certain saints by the salvation from God and knowledge of it. I saw the transmission of this mystery through the ancestry of Jesus Christ down to Joaquin and Anne, the purest and holiest couple that ever existed, and from whom was born Mary, the spotless virgin. And then I saw Mary becoming a living Ark of God covenant. Adam and Eve descend from paradise. After some time, I saw Adam and Eve wandering about the great distress. They were no longer being with light, and they went about, one here, then one there, as if seeking something they had lost. They were ashamed, and each other every step they took led them downward, as if the ground gave way beneath their feet. They carried gloom wherever they went, and plants lost their bright colors and turned gray. The animals fled before them. They saw large leaves and wove them into a cincture for their loins. They always wander about separate. After they had thus fled for a considerable time, the region of refulgent light whence they had come began to look like the summit of a distant mountain among the bushes of gloomy looking plain. They hid themselves but apart. Then the voice from above called them. They would not obey the call. They were frightened. They fled still further and hid still deeper among the bushes. It made me sad to see that, but voice became more imperative, and spite of their desire to flee and hide, they were compelled to come forward. The majestic figure shining with the light again appeared. Adam and Eve, with bowed head, stepped from their hiding places, but they dare not look upon their Lord. They glanced at each other and both acknowledged their guilt. And now God pointed out them a plane still lower than the one on which they stood. On it were bushes and trees. On reaching, they became humble for the first time, rightly understood their miserable condition. I saw them praying when left there alone. They separated, fell on their knees, and rise up their hands with tears and cries. I thought I was gaze upon them. How good it is to be alone in prayer. Adam and Eve were on this time clothed in garment that reached from the shoulders to the knee, and which was girded and at the waist by the strip of the inner bark of a tree. While our first parents were descending lower and lower from the place of their creation, which was paradise itself, appeared like a cloud to mountain higher and higher above them. Then fire ring like a circle, sometimes seen around the sun, and the moon came down from heaven and settled around the height upon which was paradise. Adam and Eve had been only one day in paradise. I know, and now see paradise far, far off like a strip of land directly under the point of sunrise. When the sun rises, it mounts up from the right of that strip of land which lies east of the Prophet Mountain, and just where the sun rises. It looks to me like an egg hanging over indescribably clear water which separates it from earth. The Prophet Mountain is where a promontory rising up through that water on that mountain. Once is extraordinary, verdant regions broken here and there by deep abysses, or like an abyss, and ravines which they were full of water. I have indeed seen people climbing up to the Prophet Mountain, but they did not go far. I saw Adam and Eve reach to earth, their place of penance. Oh, what a touching sight! Those two creatures expiating their fault upon the naked earth. Adam had been allowed to bring an olive branch which with him from paradise, and now he planted. Later on, the cross was made from its wood, meaning Jesus' cross. Adam and Eve were inseparably sad, and I saw them. They could scarcely get a glimpse of paradise, and they were constantly descending lower and lower. It were constantly descending lower and lower. It seemed as if something revolved, and they came at last through night and darkness to the wretched, miserable place upon which they had to do penance. Period. Next chapter is chapter 4, which is the family of Adam, which is going to be the next reading, because I could barely see and my glasses is not helping. I'm sorry. I hope you enjoy this reading the way I do, and may God bless you all. Thank you.